Hi everyone. I wanted to jump on and do a Facebook Live because we just had a comment, and Veronica, thank you so much for sharing this insight that you had about the black hole. So yesterday I was talking about a bit about the habit of grief, and I'm going to do a couple of Facebook Lives on the habit of grief because I think for womb twin survivors, this is such an important piece of the puzzle that often we miss in our healing journey. And we really need to take the time and the energy because when we have complicated grief, and make no mistake, womb twin survival is a buried and carried grief because most of us don't even know that we are grieving. And so we develop as a life, what would be the term for it? Our way of managing life, our way of dealing with life on a day-to-day from the time that we're children is actually grief avoidance. And so when we're talking about this black hole, this sadness that just overcomes us, it's because what's happened is a natural grief symptom has hardened and has become our way of life as opposed to being a process that we move through. And so this habit of sadness can be staggering, and we find that we are carrying, as Veronica said, this deep hole inside of us, and it feels like a black hole, and it feels like if we go into it, we're never going to come out of it, and it can overwhelm us. So I remember for myself, I had an experience. I was at a birthday party. I was 14 years old. And there is this picture, and truly this picture has haunted me because this picture is of 16 of my friends all laughing and having a really good time, and they're all focused in on one area, and I'm tucked away and looking back, but most of all, I'm just looking so sad, like there is no joy inside of me. If you are finding that this is your experience of life, that you experience life through this veil of sadness, and that you're finding it really hard to access or connect to any kind of joy, please contact me, because life doesn't need to be that way. What needs to happen is we need to find the tools and the techniques that can go through and explore that sadness in safe ways so that we can express that sadness and we can come out the other side. Grief is a journey, and it's meant to be moved through. It's not meant to be buried and carried. Veronica, it's so great to see you here joining us live. If you have any questions, just make sure to make a note for me. What I want to make sure of is that we access the tools that we need. And because I am a womb twin survivor and I've certainly gone through this, I created a package that is very specifically about how do I do this? How do I reclaim my joy in life? And for many of us, that may be a joy that we never even knew was possible. So if you're experiencing this deep sadness and that there's a sadness veil over everything that you think and you do, just know that doesn't need to be the way that you go through life. There is another way to do this. Veronica, I see your comment here. Exactly like me. I always felt like the invisible girl in the middle of the crowd. Exactly, that invisibility, right? And we're so isolated and alone in our experience. And in part, it's because nobody, ourselves included, have accurately identified that what's happening for us is that we're grieving and that we are in this active process of grief, but because we're not free to explore it, we carry it and we bury it, and it becomes this overbearing weight. And so we become identified as this person who is sad and is lonely, and loneliness is a whole nother conversation that we'll save for a different Facebook Live. And we do become invisible in that process, and because we don't understand ourselves, we don't know how to support ourselves. But the good news is it doesn't need to be this way. The minute we're willing to turn into and lean on our grief and let our grief show us the pathway out, that's the minute that true healing happens. So hopefully this was of assistance to you. If you're wanting to learn more, please private message me or connect with me in some way, maybe through the communication stream of this video, and we'll schedule a call so that we can talk about how the healing can occur and what are the steps you need to take. Much love to you always. And if you have anything you want me to speak about in these Facebook Lives, if you have any questions about habits of grief, please feel free to private message me that as well, or put that in the comment section. Much love to you all. Have a great day. Namaste.